join the minister.
Yes, thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. For the record, I'm Dr. Rude from Bukonzo County East. Right Honorable Speaker, from Bukonzo County East and actually Kasese at large, we have grown up with two types of cash crops being grown. That is coffee and cotton. And remember, we are among the leading producers of both of these two items. Therefore, this discussion is very right, and I do associate myself to the motion in support of revitalization of all the value addition processes for our cotton. And specifically in Kasese, actually with the processes of value addition actually not being focused on, even prices have gone very low. The farmers are suffering, they are investing in a lot, but harvesting peanuts. So ultimately, the prices are very, very low. So with government coming on board to revitalize these milling machines, eventually we are going to have a market for our cotton readily available at the milling places. Number two, we are going to reduce on the importation of textiles from outside and utilize our own cotton here and produce clothing. The other time we were in general elections, and that yellow t-shirt was on a huge demand, and we were being told that there is no more material to produce them. How I wish that we had textile, cotton, value addition, plants all over. These materials would have been all over and would have gotten implemented. I associate myself together with the people from Bukonzo County East with the motion.
Thank you. Councilor Maria? No. The Honorable Gentleman next to Amusa. I saw you look passionate.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For the record, I'm called Richard Omoroko, from representing the people of Wusu County. I rise to support the motion on the floor. You are aware, Mr. Speaker, that Teso is renowned for cotton growing. That was way back before the collapse. The 1969 National Population Census put Teso as one of the big economies in the country, and Teso was ranked high, equivalent to the areas of Uganda, that is Wakiso, Bukono, in terms of income. That income was arising from cotton and cattle. Our economy collapsed starting from the 1970s. Up to date, Teso does not have any cash crop. And therefore, I like to say that let governments revitalize the cotton industry, because it was through cotton that our children were able to go to school. It was through cotton that the government was able to get forex, because at that time, in the 1960s, cotton was the third most important forex arm in the country. And therefore, I believe that advertising this industry will enable a majority of communities in Uganda that have no cash crop right now. The benefits of cotton not just cover textiles. There's from seed we can get animal or cattle cake. From seed we can get cooking oil, and therefore cotton has got a lot of value. I submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Just 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. And I'd like to thank the movers of the motion about the revival of Uganda's cotton and textile value chain through rehabilitation of the Iran spinning mill. But, Honorable Speaker, since the motion has been amended, maybe you allow me to come with a comprehensive report that will cover the whole country where cotton is being grown. However, allow me to specifically go to what Honorable just raised here briefly in 2 minutes. Allow me first go historical. Yes.
You can just give 15 minutes. Okay?
Yes.
I just need your commitment on this. Then under Rule 279 of our rules of procedure, you're supposed to bring an action taken before. Because the motion has gone deeper. Now, if you go historical, we shall sleep here and go you better.
Most obliged, right, Honorable. Let me now, first of all, thank the move of the motion. We will come and we give a comprehensive statement or report about the same covering the whole country. Yeah, so that we get to know what's happening in cotton, is related to cotton growing, then find solutions of reviving, revitalizing Iran ginnery and other generations that are spread all over the country, including West Nile, Central, and Western Uganda. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Urging government to liberalize Uganda's cotton and textile value chain through rehabilitation and operationalization of gorilla spinning mill be adopted with amendments. Those in favor sign to the contrary. So, Iraq extract the resolution, pass it on to the relevant minister, that we plan and implement of our rules of procedure, and action taken to report the report here. But in the motion they requested for 6 months, yes, and our rules provide for 60 days. So let's go for 6 months, so that the minister is given enough time. Because it has a budget and education, I don't want the minister to just come and sit, represent it to cabinet, and 6 months we shall be monitoring whether it is in the budget. Thank you. I have not had the national project, but I know so far today with item 4. Then I'll be getting. I want to win this conversation.
Urging government to improve access to the infant health care and enhance social protection for older persons.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I write healthcare and enhance social protection for older persons, moved under Rule 56 of the Parliament. Whereas Objective 20 of the National Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda 1995 directs the state to take all practical measures to ensure the provision of basic medical services to the population, and whereas Uganda ratified the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights 1966, which requires state parties to recognize the right of everyone to the enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health, among others. Aware that the government has demonstrated its commitment to the through policy frameworks, including the National Policy for Older Persons, which provides the equal treatment, social inclusion, and which recognizes the particular vulnerabilities of older persons and guides the delivery of targeted social protection. in Uganda, further aware that government implements social protection and economic empowerment programs for older persons, grants for empowerment program, which provides a monthly grant of 25,000 shillings to every eligible older persons, considering that Uganda's population of older persons, estimated at more than 1.4 million persons aged 60 years and above, continues to grow and bears a disproportionate higher, continuous and often costly medical care. Noting that although the Senior Citizens Grant provides important financial support to older persons, is insufficient to meet their basic and healthcare needs, and program reaches only a proportion of eligible older persons because of its coverage and age requirements. Concerned persons reside in rural areas, have no healthcare insurance, and have limited access to specialized geriatric care, essential medication, and diagnostic services, preventable illnesses and deterioration in their health and quality of life. Further concerned that public facilities across the country generally lack dedicated geriatric units, health workers trained in geriatric care, and age-friendly infrastructure and services, including ramps, rest areas, and priority service points. Recognizing that as accessible and affordable healthcare services tailored to the needs of older persons, complemented by preventative health interventions across the population, will promote healthy aging and reduce the long-term burden of age-related illnesses on families, communities, and the national healthcare system. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Parliament urges government to, number one, introduce a health insurance scheme, specially targeting older persons to facilitate free or affordable access to essential medicines, diagnostic services, and treatment for age-related and chronic conditions. Number two, strengthen community and home-based care programs for older persons, including mobile health clinics, community outreach services, and older person support communities, particularly in rural and hard-to-reach areas. As number three, establish dedicated geriatric units and age-friendly service points, including priority queues, ramps, and rest areas in all regional referral hospitals and progressively in general hospitals and health centers. Number four, train and deploy health workers in geriatric medicine and elderly care. Number five, introduce quarterly health checkups for older persons at designated health centers to promote health screenings, preventative health care, and align the dates of the checkups with the payments of the Senior Citizens Grant, where practical.
The motion is seconded. Seconded by the Minister of Elderly, seconded by Erida Thomas, seconded by Magdalena. Jaraneso. Yes. Seconded by the new Minister for State for Indian Affairs. Shadow Minister for Gender. I can see Richard, Honorable Police, Honorable Dr. Angora, Colleagues, by majority of the order. Even Martin. So, Honorable, you feel this is an administration? Because I can see you are put your best program. You want to speak more on this? I allow this You feel this is sufficient?
I think it's sufficient, but I have a justification. But I can see if it's sufficient for the House.
Yeah, I think this is sufficient.
Sufficient, eh?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so that will show you our okay? So I can see on the seconders, I see on the report and let me start with the report first, then on the secretary. Then I'll do the engineer.
Thank you, very honorable Speaker. When you look at the support towards this motion, you'll notice that there's a general acknowledgement that we are all candidates for old age. And one very honorable Speaker, on the 20th of November last year, during the busy election period, the then Minister for State for Elderly Affairs made a big pronouncement at the Uganda Media Center. In his pronouncement, he indicated 3 core areas that the Cabinet had resolved on, and one of them was on eligibility in terms of age for the SAGE program, and he indicated that it had been lowered from 80 years to 65 years. The second pronouncement was that the monthly grant for SAGE had been increased from 25,000 to 35,000. And thirdly indicated that these changes will take effect in this ongoing financial year, 2026-2027. I think the most important question all the persons are waiting for this evening, the 1 million who are above 65 years of age, is when the implementation of these changes will begin. And I'm hopeful that the Minister will clearly pronounce himself, the Minister will pronounce herself on these matters. Right, Honorable Speaker, you'll also notice that this House has consistently debated the issue of SAGE, particularly when it comes to access to that grant, and that these older people have to travel long distances many times to access this money. And it would be of good consideration to these particular older people that government considers accessible platforms like mobile money, for example, so that the older people do not travel these long distances. Because at one point, an 84-year-old woman in 2004 lost her life in Pakwach district in trying to access this particular support. Right, Honorable Speaker, you'll also notice that support for older persons is about 120 billion shillings under SAGE. But 30 billion of that money is for administration. And this is a very huge fraction of the money that is available. And if we could save on these administrative costs, so that there is further increment in the grants that these older people get. Finally, on geriatrics, Right Honorable Speaker, the specialists for geriatrics are not very many. And if you notice in all our institutions of higher learning, there is no institution of higher learning providing this course at a master's level. And it would be important for our institutions to consider investing in more of our human resource in this particular sector. Thank you. I beg to submit.
Thank you. 2 minutes, Honorable Secretary.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. I want to first of all thank the move of this motion, my friend Namuro, for your foresight and commitment to the plight of older persons. Right Honourable Speaker, older persons form the foundation of our community. Therefore, as members of Parliament, it is our moral and constitutional obligation to support their plight. Research shows that 45% of older persons live below the international extreme poverty index, and only 2.3% are able to receive a pension. The rest depend on family support and some forms of senior citizen grants. Similarly, many older persons above 60 years in our communities are still living with chronic illnesses, as mentioned like diabetes, arthritis, dementia, and cancer. Yet our health systems, like they have mentioned before, we lack professionals in geriatric services, and we have insufficient age-friendly services. In districts like Kayunga, where I come from, most of the older persons do not have any form of health insurance. They struggle to access diagnostic services, assistive devices, and affordable transport facilities. When we look at the social protection front, we appreciate government for having the senior citizen grant and assent. But while this program is appreciated, we still have older persons who are not getting this money. Many older persons still are in poverty and asking. Right Honourable Speaker, investing in older persons is not a burden of government. It is an investment in dignity, welfare, and social stability. I therefore want to support this motion and urge honourable colleagues to support this motion as a statement that Parliament stands with the older persons. I beg to say.
Thank you. Honorable Secretary. We have our former coordinator of the Forum on Social Protection. Now he's a member of Parliament.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I would like to thank my colleagues, the woman MP for Sirongo District, Honourable Nakulo, for moving this very important motion about the older persons. Right Honourable Speaker and the colleagues, old age is a special gift from God. And by the time you reach 80 years, you must be a special person who serves God throughout your life. And so right now we have very many of our older persons who are suffering out there. And I want to thank government very, very much, especially President Museveni, who allowed we, the older persons, to be represented in this parliament. And we are not many, we are only 5. But I know there are also many of our colleagues here who have come to parliament in their own rights, and they are also old. So we thank God for all the old and the young. And so, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, the geriatricians we are talking about, I think in the whole country there are only 5. And for me personally, I don't even know how to accept them. And if I cannot accept them, what about our older persons who are in the countryside? Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, for us when we came to Parliament, it was also a tug of war to get insurance scheme for us, because they were saying we are too old. But I want to thank Parliament and the government for the intervention which made us get the health insurance scheme. I would also like to
Switch on, honorable.
I would like to appeal to our government and honorable colleagues and all of us to consider our old persons to have insurance scheme while we are waiting for the 35,000 shillings for say to take effect. It is true we all heard about it. I personally didn't want to tune the older persons in my constituency until when it came out in black and white. And so we are all eagerly waiting at least for the 35,000 increase for our older persons. Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, 35,000 is also not much, but at least it is something for which we must thank the government and must be grateful. So I would like to appeal to government to try all possible ways of finding this 35,000 shillings for every older person. I know the Parliament has already okayed it because many of our people here love us older persons and they respect us very, very highly. So colleagues, I would like to appeal to you that we will continue to advocate and support our older parents, our grandparents, and all of you because you are all heading to our age. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Johnson. The Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm sure that I was Patrick, Member of Parliament for Chigam, and as rightly pointed out, former coordinator for Uganda Coordinated Forum on Social Protection, a forum that has been very active since 2012 on this matter of providing and extending social protection to other persons in this country. I rise to support the motion, and I would like argument on the aspect of financing for social protection, particularly on the program called SAGE. You have been told that the budget currently is at 121 billion, which is currently supporting about 316,000 older persons. Now, this resolution or decision by Cabinet of lowering the age 65 would mean that about 1 million older persons would be supported at a rate of 35,000, which then would require an additional 252 billion to be able to come to 373 billion to cover all other persons who are about 65 years of age. I know that sometimes resources are not enough, and I would like to propose to government to look at it possibly in a phased manner if indeed resources cannot be available. Because this was supposed to be for this financial, and in this budget is not there, but it's not too late, because it's a very, very important area in which government can even explore having a supplementary budget. And in the first manner that I'm proposing, let us reduce progressively to 75 years, and that will take us to 500,000 older persons, which then would need a budget of 192 billion, which then would be an additional of 71 billion. If the subsequent year will be 70, we will cover 764 persons, which will be an additional 157 billion, and at 65, like I said, in the third year, it will be very sufficient to cover other persons. This program was set by this Parliament in 2018 by a Parliament resolution for a national rollout. It is this Parliament scheme that I think can be able to save the older persons of this country because of the prominent role that they continue to play as custodians of wisdom, but also as people that we must recognize for the important role they have contributed in this country. I beg to support the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and members of the House. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Honorable Naburo for bringing this motion to Parliament. Thank Thank you, my daughter. And I want to thank all those who seconded this motion, and also the Honorable Chichonjo, who is the coordinator of social protection. Today I turned 72, right, Honorable Speaker? I'm happy to be an older person, and I'm happy to represent the older persons of Western Uganda in Parliament, but also as Minister of Older Persons of the whole country. Right, Honorable Speaker, it is true, as the members who spoke before said, that the older persons are the ones who have laid the foundation for this country. We are the ones who have brought Uganda to where it is today. And for that matter, we need a lot of respect, we need a lot of care, we need our dignity. Now, those who spoke about the motion and the move of the motion dwelt on geriatric care. Geriatric care is the medical care for older persons. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have only three geriatric doctors in Uganda. And we do not have any geriatric nurses at all. In fact, Uganda does not train any geriatric healthcare personnel. We have just recruited one of the geriatric doctors on the National Council of Older Persons, and we're happy to have her, and she's going to help us a lot. Right Honorable Speaker, as a ministry, we are engaging the Ministry of Health so that we discuss this area of geriatric care. We are engaging very soon Makerere University so that the curriculum for geriatric doctors and geriatric nurses is adopted in the education system of the medical workers. We are also about to engage Ministry of Health so that whenever we are distributing SAGE, it is distributed at health center 3s, so that at the same time these old people get some medical care, and we arrange as a ministry to put some medical camp for those people to be cared for. On the question of SAGE, 25,000 is very little money, but Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, we have found out that these 25,000 shillings, 30% of it is used for medical care. And therefore, the issue of medical insurance is extremely important. And as a ministry, that's what we are looking at. We have already met a few insurance companies and discussed the medical. And probably when we increase to the 5,000 per month or so could be used for medical insurance. It's extremely important. As far as the conveyance of SAGE money is concerned, we have a lot of difficulties. This SAGE is being given out at sub-counties. And of course, many of our old people cannot go to sub-counties. I saw one of them being wheeled on a wheelbarrow to a sub-county to receive SAGE money. So in the ministry, we are looking at options, better options of this SAGE money reaching the people. But I must remind dear members that our old people forget their PIN numbers. We could put the money on the phones, but they don't forget their PIN numbers. And most of their phones are being held by their children and grandchildren who are actually taking away this money from them. So it's a very, very big problem, but Now regarding the increment 35,000, indeed it was a decision here and it was a cabinet decision and it was communicated to the people. I think most of you even used it as a campaign tool to get those votes of the other persons. Unfortunately, Right Honourable Speaker, this was not put in the budget of this year. And I wish to request that together, Cabinet and the members of Parliament find ways and means of raising this money, which, as the Honourable Chonto said, is 252.6 billion. Right Honourable Speaker, these other persons are breadwinners for their families. The people above 60 are looking after families with a population of 7.2 million people. And they are the only ones looking after these people. And therefore it is important to get that 35,000. Regarding the other programs, we have SEBOP, where they are supposed to borrow, to get some 5 million shillings per group of 5 people, and they've been getting it. It started as 5 billion. We are pushing that it comes to 10 billion. Hopefully this year it should be raised to 10 billion so that as many people, as many old people as possible get it. Those who cannot get parish development model money, even if we encourage them to get the 10% of the PDM. So as a ministry, we need your support, Right Honourable Speaker. We need support of the Parliament. We are every day working on this since we started, and we are sure together with yourselves we shall succeed. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Jen, Mr. Chen, do you want to add something? Medical perspective?
Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to thank the mover of the motion and also to thank the Minister for her very passionate presentation. Right Honourable, I only want to add a few things to bring to the attention of the members that the National Development Plan 4 captures issues of the elderly and geriatric services in details. Why do I say this? Because I personally participated in putting them there. Number 2, it captures issues of training for the geriatric doctors and the nurses. Also in details. All we need are resources so that that can be implemented. In the meantime, the Ministry of Health entered into a public-private partnership with an organization, and there is ongoing training of geriatric nurses. In fact, if any of you needs one here, you can just contact them and they'll give you one. But that will be at your cost. But what we want is that they are supported because the elderly need them. It is very true that we have only 3 geriatric doctors, and they are only based in Murago. But the elderly are so many, 1.4 million all over the country, and we need them in every part of the country. It is important that we invest in this area if we are to have a good output from what we deserve. Lastly, Right Honourable Speaker, on the issue of the health insurance, I just want to guide the Minister that if we are to have an insurance targeted only to the elderly, as a country we are likely to fail. We need an insurance scheme that covers all of us, including the children. Because the principle is solidarity. The rich supports the poor. And our elderly are only receiving 25, now 35 if it happens. They are not able to contribute. So let's push for what we have already started, which has been pending, which has already been well worked on, so that that law is approved and all of us have an insurance scheme
so that we don't put a heavy burden on the elderly or expect the government to pay only specifically for the elderly. I thank you.
Thank you. Please now put the question. The motion for the resolution of Parliament urging government to improve access to geriatric health care and the non-social protection for older persons be approved. Does the member say aye or the hand to the ayes have it. Now, Honourable Minister, I can see you supported the motion strongly. Now the body is in your court. Rule 229 of the rule of procedure says you will report back in 60 days. And you tell us the progress you've made in implementing this resolution as a government. Otherwise, count on us as a government that the issues of the area will always suffer. Thank you. Now, for this, I will take a matter of national importance, which I want to be handled now. That is known as the Kalima Sara, and then the date of tasking. 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, and I do raise a matter of national importance concerning the alarming state of Mbale Central Market.
Minister, this is your issue. As long as you listen, please go ahead.
Yes, Right Honourable, I raise on a matter of national importance concerning the alarming state of Mbale Central Market and the continuous injustice being inflicted on more than 5,000 traders who depend on the market for their daily survival. Right Honourable Speaker, what has happened, I had a meeting with the town clerk and the division mayor, and they did show me a letter signed by the former minister of local government showing the steep increment in rent dues that they are supposed to pay the central market. And as per the letter, you will find that a store of 5,000, they will be paying 20,000. One who has been paying 30,000 will be required to pay 300,000. One who has been paid 100,000 will be paying 500,000 shillings, which the traders believe are quite huge and unreasonable, and there was no due process, no consultation or engagement with them was involved. Right Honourable, as I speak, the market master was suspended, the leaders of the different sections in the market were arrested, some of them I did help them get bail and they're out as I speak. The market has not been having water for a while. The toilets, of course, now we cannot use them. The roofs of the market are leaking. When you look at the garbage around the central market, they were given a truck by the city council, but unfortunately, they have to pay for the driver of the city council. They have to fuel the truck to ferry garbage from around the market. Then there are issues to do with landlords, people who got stores and shops in the market who are charging people exorbitant fees. So Right Honourable members, my prayers are four and brief. One, my prayers is the government through the Ministry of Local Government takes the following steps: convenes an urgent meeting with the local authorities and stakeholders of the market and agree on a reasonable rent fee to be paid by the traders. Two, restore reliable piped water in the market areas and undertake to do the repairs that include the roofs that are leaking and other non-functional facilities. Three, complete a transparent time-bound verification and reallocation exercise that prioritizes active genuine vendors and permanently ends the practice of exploiting subletting by self-proclaimed landlords. And lastly, ring-fence a clear and publicly reported percentage of the market revenue for sanitization, garbage collection, water, electricity, and structural maintenance. Right Honourable Speaker and members, I beg to serve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable. I remember in January, towards the election, I visited that market. I addressed some of those concerns. Now they have re-emerged. I remember that time I worked closely with the Honourable Rafael Majezi. Now these are things that can be resolved very fast. In Imbarana they had similar problems. I had a meeting with them, my last visit in Imbarana. They sorted it. They had a chairman who had become the landlord. That chairman was removed. So we told the market master is the in charge. but then there are departmental leaders too per departments. So we shall do the same application. Only the contractors who build those markets, all of them need to be jailed. They put low gauge iron sheets, very low gauge iron sheets. The markets will have the same problem. Now this, I will need to ask the contractors who are given all these markets to fix that, or else we blacklist them from doing any kind of business. So the issue of landlords in the market, the president made it clear. And politicians actually, what Honorable Karim did inform you that they are politicians in stores, which is wrong. So I will involve the commissioner of markets, local government, shall hold a meeting to submit a list of the people who are eligible to get. Whichever politician has, that will be potent. We give it to the poor who don't have stores. Markets were designed for the poor people, not for the rich. So right, Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, wherever you are, we shall remove the rich.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I like to appreciate the Minister for Local Government, Honorable Bala, concerning markets in this country. Honorable Speaker, government injected huge amount of money for putting out markets across the country. And if you look at other markets, for example, Gulu, the design alone, the moment you enter in that market, is like you are going inside the oven. The roof is too low. In fact, the quality does not correspond to the amount of money which was injected. I thank our Minister for your activities across the local government. What you are doing is going to eradicate corruption in the local government. And I pray that will continue with that activity. Move across the country, investigate all those ones who have given contract for the market. Those are not serious. You are arrested as you normally do. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, whoever is involved in a shoddy deal, whether it is 3 years, 7 years, 10 years ago, it remains shoddy. They will pay back, they must vomit, and they must face the law. As simple as that. So, the problem in Mbari market is the same problem in Kavala. In Kavala city, there are people who have been crying. The original occupants were denied. Then those who had money, the Ruth chains, were able to, not dismiss our chain, look at chain of Kavala. They didn't want to chain of Kavala. They were able to get stories. So, there's a lady called Ruth chain of Kavala. So you're going to sort it. Ambarada was sorted. Mubende, I met Honorable Sumaya of Uno. She took me there and resolved it. And even we actually gave the poor who had not gotten. The original occupants were given 4 stores. We got to stores, I asked them where did the stores come from, but they were able to find the stores of those people, which had been taken over because they were voiceless. So Honorable Karim informed the traders, for now let them pay the previous amount till when I come there from the next week or the other week. I'll come there and we have it resolved. Thank you very much.
situation, even when to welcome you, you know, and you have to discover what I didn't know. Some of the things that came out. So, I know your name was mentioned, so you can, as Rob, you can just have a minute, but I hope it's not a rebuttal.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, yes, my friend Honorable Minister mentioned my name, but my concern is the constitutional amendment he has just made on the presumption of guilt on the floor of Parliament. So I'm only wondering whether we should expand, because this is the House of Record, and under our Constitution, Article 28 presumes innocence of any guilty person until someone pleads or is proved guilty. So I'm seeking guidance of whether that amendment should be expanded from the
No, but I don't think he said one is guilty. He says he hands you over. Okay? He hands you over to be managed. He can't give you flowers and he hands you over. So that's the formal process.
Thank you, Honorable. I'm the Vice Chairperson for Committee of Local Government and Public Service. This letter, I think you sent a copy to us, and we are sitting tomorrow. Would it be procedural for us to first sit, iron it out with our ministers, and then we come to the Parliament? Thank you.
I wouldn't want it to look like it's a fight between Dr. Speaker and the Honorable Minister. In doing our work, each one of us, we can meet all these situational hazards. So what is important is how do we go about it? Okay? How do we appreciate them? Do we see them as opportunities for improvement, or we think if someone is trying to interfere with my work? Okay? So, but let the committee is just excellent, not by summoning. Now, don't want to hear your summoning so and so, it comes to an investigation, you want to come and report, no. But the usual updates, if you feel that this is one, but in general, not a specific incident. Okay? No, colleagues, time is up. You can see time is not.
Right Honorable Speaker, I just need to inform the whole House that today we had an interaction with the Park local government, which was full house, led by Chairperson Honorable Betty Batikena Boza, and I think they will update the House with whatever we have discussed. However, we have another interaction with another committee tomorrow. But the matters at hand are simple, honorable colleagues. We are trying to unblock the veins of the tubes. Those of you who know the Malwa tube, once there is a stone and you pull, your jaw will hurt you. We have a system in place in local government, right from up the bottom. But the system, in some instances, it has rotten, that we need to clean the wound. And it is painful because some of the people we are touching, they are campaign agents, campaign managers. Most of the people in Public Service Commission, District Service Commission, they are chairpersons of campaign agents of the former MP, former minister, current minister. So you're going to touch where it hurts. Others are husbands of members of parliament, girlfriends of members of parliament, but we should not, we should not discriminate. In places we have worked.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Just my point of procedure is to the Honorable Minister. In the Speaker's communication, we were told that no committee works, no committee meetings shall take place when Parliament is in session. Therefore, is it procedure right for you, Honorable Minister, and the Chair of Local Government Park to have meetings when we are having session? Thank you.
Thank you. No, today there is no special permission because remember one of the matters of the electricity. So he said, since you are in a very specific matter, where we are not going to make a resolution, but where members are going to be voicing feedback from their constituents, then we can allow them to sit. But if there is any other committee sitting now, okay, or when there is plenary, that will be given. I thank you for raising that. I'm not holding the floor. Rules don't allow that.
Right Honorable Speaker, just to let you know, the same member who's complaining that why did the committee go on, though it was with your permission, he was among the members of the same committee. He sat next to me, he attended.
Yeah, no, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you have just guided that the Honorable Minister and his colleague, the Minister of State, come back with a report. But the Honorable Minister is telling us that the committee will come back with a report. We don't know whom you have instructed to come back with a report.
Now, Park local government, their work is limited to matters related to the Auditor General in the Auditor General report. So they cannot be handling these issues because the Auditor General has not yet touched on them. Even if he wanted to introduce himself in the Senate. So, Honourable Minister, I wanted, it was in my opinion, right, because I'm not instructing him to do it, but I was giving him my opinion that it would be better for him to come and update us and for purposes of localizing all of us to understand what he's doing, where he's going with it, what he has discovered, so that we all be alive. And what I saw, if colleagues, we could do baratons in our own constituency, they work on a barat building, and the technical people come, you know, it will do extremely well. It will do extremely well. So that's why I was telling him that it would be good for you to bring us on board and we see whether we can even replicate what he is doing. Because he will not be going everywhere all the time. So now, Minister, do you think you'll be able to come and update us?
Right Honorable Speaker, I will avail a report on Tuesday. If you give me a slot, I'll make a presentation on my report to the whole House.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Economics.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is again Ekoro Alex Irokan, Member of Parliament, Bunia County East. Honorable Speaker, I rise on the matter of national importance to draw the attention of this House to the suffering of the people of Uwako village in Uwaya sub-county, that is in Mayuke, whose lives were shattered with heavy rains and the violent storms that destroyed houses and crops. The disaster has left the families in altered districts. Their homes are damaged, their gardens were ruined, and their source of food and income was swept away in a matter of hours. These are not just statistics. We are talking about mothers, fathers, children, and elderly people who are now facing hunger, homelessness, and uncertainty. The destruction of homes means that even the coming season will remain difficult unless urgent intervention is provided. When families lose both shelter and food, the impact goes beyond the present moment. It affects health, school attendance, dignity, and survival. If no immediate action is taken the situation into a humanitarian crisis for those families and the wider community. I therefore request the government, through the relevant Ministry of Disaster and the response structures, to urgently assess the damage in the Bobako village and to provide relief to support the affected families. They need it.
Okay? So, right now,
I thank Honorable Alex for raising this important issue. I suspect most probably it has already been brought to the attention of the office of the Prime Minister. But I suggest, for avoidance of any doubt, that in the next 10 minutes, my brother and I should withdraw with your permission, so that we quickly check with the office of the Prime Minister to ensure that appropriate action will be taken. I thank you.
Right now, we'll be here. Maybe I will propose at the end of the session, the Honorable colleague can proceed with it. But the procedure, colleagues, like I guided you, is the district disaster committee. Whenever you have a disaster in your constituency, just link up with the crowd so that the district disaster committee can visit, make an assessment, and submit a report to the office of the Prime Minister. Raising it on the floor is not enough. Okay? The office of the Prime Minister will work on advice of the technical people in the district. If the disaster is so wide, the Prime Minister always sends a team ahead. Honorable Court Constance, I have very many questions to do with human and wildlife conflict. I don't know your committee how far you've reached, whether it is presented, because they all look the same.
Thank you very honorable. Last week from Wednesday and Thursday, as you recall, we had invited all members of parliament coming from constituencies that are faced with the human-wildlife conflict. And I'm pleased to inform you that we received more than 20 members of parliament as witnesses to with our committee. And now the committee, starting 28th to 31st, will be moving to the field in specific areas, hotspots that we identified during our conversation with members of parliament. And we'll eventually have a meeting with the UWA and the ministry and report to the House. So the process is on course.
Thank you. So honorable colleagues to that, because I have around 4 questions around that.
Mr. Right Honorable, in addition, we also requested members of parliament who could not physically come to our committee to write memos to our committee. We have also been able to receive a significant number. And through you, I'll appeal to honorable colleagues who are not able to come to our committee that the doors for receiving memos or your concerns regarding human-wildlife conflict is still open. You can share with our committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Gani.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving this opportunity to talk about issues of national importance, but issues which are affecting our people. Right, Honorable Speaker, on Saturday and morning, the people of Toro got the shock of their life from our life. When we lost a very prominent young man of 47 years in the name of Kenneth Kejuka, with a driver and had 4 children in an accident along Omende Metara Road. Right, Honorable Speaker,
This road has been a menace to our people. It's not the first guy. We had lost others, very prominent people like Agnes Katama, Salesport, and Fadalba, Salesport. And Honorable Speaker, that road has been in that state for long. I've been talking about it. The Minister of Works comes and tells us what's there, letting the people, but nothing's done. Nowadays, traveling to Porto, Honorable Speaker, is a menace. And we're opting even to use helicopters so that we go to assess them. Yes. Well, some of us are all the buckets are starting to ache. So Honorable Speaker was praying that the Minister of Works, this time, let them wake up. If the contractor is not willing to do this, road has been in contract for the last 10 years, if you can remember, and nothing is going on. So I would request that, in the interest of the people of Toro, and as you heard yesterday, I telling the Federal Service Honorable Speaker, the plans are very high to do other things which you don't want to mention here in the floor of Parliament. And it would be absurd to see members of Parliament, the people of Toro who are support, government supporter, to be on the road walking, demonstrating.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, yesterday I went to church at all things and for the funeral service of Mr. Kenneth Chuka, whom I personally knew, but also the family is very, very close to me. Dr. Chionga is the son to Mr. Chris Chuka. And you know, that spot, the complaints I received, has been basically swallowed with people, not the first one. So the story was this trailer driver came on high speed and he hit into that pothole and he started swinging either way and the container fell on top of it. So I have crushed it completely. Mr. Kinjuka and the driver completely crushed. The 4 children who were in the back seat, they all survived, but were stuck in for 4 hours. For 4 hours, because the good Samaritans, whenever they would try to cut the rocket, then the container would press down. So until we managed to get a crane that pulled off the container and got out the children. One of the sons was in church. For those who might have followed me on X, we saw the young boy who was putting the rest in the coffin. That's one of the surviving children, but it was traumatizing receiving the stories of how many people have died in that state. So, when I came about the previous night, I called the Minister of Works and he gave me a brief on what is being done. I think now in progress. They are now seriously working, and they promised February 2027 the road should be done. That's in China Muwende, and also there is the street of Muwende Chenjojo, Muwende Chenjojo. Yes, but it's really bad. I know there sometimes it's horrible. We have bad roads, but I would rather be on the Maram than being on that road, because we have a very sharp road, and I don't know how people are moving there tonight. So, right now I request that you help us for that. I had to make very strong commitment in that of government. When you're outside there, people don't know if you're going to speak or what. I think government, you were here looking for votes. You were here. And I was with Mr. Prisley Juba. Him and Mr. William Jarana were traversing that region. You can see what the beginning. So I request that indeed, even you request yourself. And also, I promised the monarchs that the committee will physical infrastructure and will visit that area to monitor the progress of the road and report back. So I need the committee of physical infrastructure to go and visit that area and see the progress, interact with the minister, and report back. Honorable colleagues, when Honorable Barama was giving explanation, he explained and was giving explanations, but there is where he said that some of them are girlfriends of MPs and all that. We might be having girlfriends, but don't expose them that way. So Honorable, we are comfortable having that on record. I don't know. And you're part of us. Yeah, you might be putting your dress, please.
Right Honorable Speaker, with that guidance, I request that part be removed, be expanded.
Thank you. To expand it, God, please expand that part. Let's assume no MP has a girlfriend. That's bad.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, regarding in this House that when such matters of death are reported to this House, it's procedurally right for us to observe a moment of silence. So I don't know whether would it be procedurally okay for us to observe a moment of silence in respect and pray for the soul of the deceased, the other people who passed on. I think, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable, I totally agree with you. But I was still having another, because I had another one to do with accidents. So I wanted us to combine probably because one of my financial figures had already brought an issue.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm Wanyanya Shafika, the MP representing Mumba North constituency. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to raise an issue regarding the state of Valley Kokondi Road, particularly 3 points of Kiftika.
I have very many here, but these are special questions. They've been there and you cannot have very urgent answers. So let's stop here for that. We go to the next item.
Item 5 on the other paper, motion for the resolution of Parliament to express gratitude to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, for the clear and precise exposition for government policy contained in the State of the National Address to Parliament of Uganda on 4th June 2026. Debate continues.
Thank you. Now, the chair is reminding me, the chair committee on tourism and trade, that with regard to item number 6, which was the resolution on parliamentary government to the crisis Ghana's cotton and textile value chain. Yes, honorable colleagues, when we say action taken before, it's for whichever agency has provided for under the law. So the part that fell under the committee should report back to you 2 months. Okay? Thank you. Now, colleagues, we are going on SONA debate, and I will request whoever will be okay for the independents to give me your names, those who are here. I want to debate SONA because I don't want you to be swallowed up. I see most of you with the NRM, so sometimes I take you to the NRM and then you debate it. Oh, I see you in opposition. Okay? You get swallowed up by the opposition. Okay? And then the ones of the opposition also, I go to the opposition. Those who are here and want to submit on SONA and haven't submitted. Because I have it for those who have submitted. Only those who have been submitted on SONA are going to the house. And it is 3 minutes as usual. Now I can see all those who might get a chance to submit their break. Then they will come tomorrow and say, I need to speak, but you left me here. How do I give you a chance to speak? So you left me here. So I'm starting with Honorable Abako Melissa, followed by Honorable Ekoro Ali, followed by Honorable Aisha Nakuru, and Honorable Katoka Philippe.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. As a woman member of Parliament for Yunda District, who represents a population where a majority of about 95% entirely depends on agriculture for their livelihood and sustainability, allow me to join the rest of my colleagues, honorable members, to convey my gratitude and appreciation to His Excellency, the President of Uganda, who in his State of Nation address on 4th June 2026 emphasized on commercial agriculture and wealth creation, encouraging households to adopt commercial farming, increasing productivity through programs such as Paris Development Model, reducing poverty by improving household income. Right Honorable Speaker, government will therefore have to help the farmers advance the climate changes so that they can practice the commercial farming. We also urge your government to continue fighting corruption as a key factor now, and renewing the government's commitment to combating corruption and effective implementation of government programs. Right Honorable Speaker, we also continue to have to warn the public officials against misuse of public resources, calling for stronger accountability and better public service delivery. With that, I thank His Excellency, and we're there to work as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Ali. Honorable Mafanda.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, my name is Mafagi Ashanagro, who are representative Sirongo District. I equally rise to thank His Excellency for the State of the Nation address. It was both a report card of how well we are doing and a glimpse into the future. On the same note, I want to especially thank him for his communication regarding commercial farming. Honorable members of Parliament and Mr. Speaker, Sirongo belongs to the Elgon region, and unfortunately, because of land fragmentation, Bugisu Elgon cannot actually enjoy the benefits of commercial farming. I therefore stand to request the Ministry of Agriculture to help us and organize the smallholder farmers, who are 85% of the farming community, to organize them to in their agroecological zone, so that they can be able to achieve commercial scale production, bearing in mind that the capacity of Elgon can actually feed the whole of Uganda, and we have 80% arable land, which has the capacity to feed the whole of Africa. I want to take this opportunity to request that they are segmented and also guided and given input, so that we can be able to achieve commercial scale agriculture. On the same note, I want to inform the Parliament, that I'm preparing a motion to this effect, and I hope that the members receive it in good faith.
Then Honorable Katoko Singh.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise to support the motion and thank His Excellency the President. Right Honourable Speaker, in the State of the Nation address, the President emphasized mainly the and particularly the human capital development at university education and skilling. Right Honourable Speaker, in my country, the government of Uganda granted the Busoga region and the country at large the Busoga University. Right Honourable Speaker, they have been handed over to the committee steering the said Busoga University. However, Right Honourable Speaker, the university up to now has not made any admission. Right Honourable Speaker, now that the Minister of Education is here, I wanted to request through you, Right Honourable Speaker, the Minister to give us an update as to when, after government investing all that money, as to when this university is going to be operationalized. Because structures are there, a committee is there, but now the academic year has started right from August up to now, nothing is happening. Finally, Right Honourable Speaker, it is on the matter of health which was emphasized by His Excellency the President, and most of the sub-counties in my constituency and the district, they have health center trees. But Right Honourable Speaker, we have almost a population of 350,000 people in that district. But up to date, we have not got the opportunity for this government to give us a district hospital in Iluka district. I think I want to implore the minister that given that population, we sincerely need to have a district hospital, and we emphasize.
Thank you. Honorable Zelenski.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I rise to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda for delivering his election address on 4th of June for outlining government's achievements and priorities. My name is Denison Tumani, MP Kahan. I also commend the government for the continued investment in infrastructure, education, healthcare, agriculture, and wealth creation, all of which are vital for Uganda's socio-economic transformation. Honourable Speaker, while appreciating these achievements, I wish to highlight a number of pressing infrastructure challenges facing the people of Kashon County in Tura District. Mr. Speaker, allow me to draw the attention of this August House and the government to the long-standing presidential pledge to Tama, Ruhunga, Kashonji, Kashwa, 33 km road. This road is a critical transport corridor that serves farmers, students, traders, health workers, and the general public. During the rainy season, this section of the road becomes very difficult for people to pass, and therefore it increases the cost of transportation to markets and essential services. Mr. Speaker, sir, I therefore humbly appeal to the government of Uganda to prioritize the implementation of this presidential pledge by allocating adequate funding so that construction of this road, Ruhunga, Kashon Junction, can commence. Its completion will stimulate trade, improve agricultural marketing, attract investment, and enhance service delivery. Mr. Speaker, I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Katoko Dapa. Honorable Adiro Maria. Yes, Honorable Adiro.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for this chance.
chance, I rise to add my appreciation to the President of the Republic of Uganda for the State of the Nation address. I would like to address myself to some of the enablers to economic growth and socio-economic transformation. One of the things that I heard him talk about is the issue of roads, and I would like to appreciate government for the good state of our road network at the national level, border to border. This has been a great achievement. However, I want to look at the state of our road networks in the communities that we come from. The feeder roads in Kalaki, for example, are in dire need of improvement. These are roads that give our farmers access to markets, to hospitals, to schools, but they're in dire need of maintenance. Our local government at district level has tried to open many roads to improve access in the communities. But after that opening, there's very little that they can do in terms of maintenance. When the funds from road fund are distributed in the sub-counties, you'll find that the sub-county receives about 7 to 8 million per annum. And that is, of course, not adequate to maintain those feeder roads. I have an example of a sub-county which has farmers of citrus. They grow citrus and they have markets as far as Kenya. But when those lorries come to pick the oranges, they cannot access the gardens of the farmers. Therefore, the farmer is now compelled to spend more money to access the lorries, and therefore diminishing their profit margins. So I really pray that adequate funding be given for road maintenance in the communities. Secondly, Kalaki, like most parts of Teso, grow a lot of oilseed crops. We are the big growers of granules, simsim, sunflower, soya, and these are very good in terms of socio-economic transformation of our people. I think now as leaders and as government, the onus is on us to attract investments in factories that do value addition so that the farmers can get better money for their crops and also employ more youth, therefore providing employment for youth, women and all. That is another way of increasing our income and then putting everybody in the...
Thank you. Rugoroi Wile, Margaret Nazwa. Margaret Nazwa. Rugoroi Wile. Barbara Noel. Okui Constantine.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank you for leading this august house and for giving me the opportunity to speak about the State of Nation address. I want to thank the President for what he said concerning socio-economic transformation. However, Right Honorable Speaker, I was in Budaka recently during the visit, and I had to change my speech because of some of what I found on the ground. For example, government has invested in schools, for example, giving computers, but unfortunately, children don't have access to this. We saw situations where children were denied to sit for their mock exams because of illegal fees charged by the headmasters. I am not condemning what the minister did,
But I want to request government to look at this situation. We saw instances of parish model where the beneficiaries were asked to pay a lot of money. And the main people, the people who are supposed to receive this money, are left out. Then on the issue of health, we saw situations where some health centers are open after 11 o'clock. So when people get sick, they have no access to medical attention. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have a big issue in Budaka, most especially concerning corruption. And I pray that the government works upon it because the President talked about fighting corruption in this country. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Okwiko standing.
Thank you so very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Okwiko Constantine, Kibale County, in the Palisa district. I rise in support of the motion under consideration. I listened to the President. He was indeed very clear. He underscored our cardinal objective as leaders, that of transforming our people, especially helping them move from subsistence to commercial farming, commercial to the money economy. The President chose the language and his body presentation left so many questions unanswered in my mind. When he talked of no more corruption, when he talked of no more politeness to non-performance, and when he talked of bravery, the question that dominated my mind was, who was the President referring to? And what was baffling me, the President was speaking to us members of Parliament. I think he meant we are the ones that are not doing our work. He has done his best over the years, but someone is failing him somewhere. I tried to introspect. I tried to do an inquiry. I looked at the technocrats. I looked at the ministries. And I looked at my constituency. I have 3 sub-counties. The 3 sub-counties, 2 of them do not have secondary schools. Now, whenever there is a campaign, we tell the constituents we are going, tell us the fact that we advocate for a school. I look at electricity coverage. Out of 46 training centers I have in my constituency, there are only wires passing in 3 of the training centers. When I look at primary schools, out of the 12 parishes,
it is similar speech. Kasikwa Gerald, followed by Nkoma Sana. Thank you very much, Speaker. My name is Dr. Gerald Kasigwa. I represent the people of Kigorogya County. I rise to pay tribute and to thank the President for a comprehensive State of the Nation address. Mr. Speaker, in the State of the Nation address, the President demonstrated to us that it is possible for us leaders to mobilize our people to join modern agricultural practices, just like he did in the cattle corridor.
The President further urged our people to join wealth creation, government wealth creation programs. And I can confirm that the people of Kigoromia are very enthusiastic about government wealth creation programs. For example, they want to plant coffee and cocoa, but they don't have seedlings. When you look at the western part of Kigoromia, that's where we have our landing sites. Those areas and the surrounding villages do not have access to safe water. Actually, the safe water, clean water coverage in Kigoromia is about 55%, which is less than the national average and less than the average for Hoima district. So some of our women have trekked very long distances to be able to fetch water. We have 7 sub-counties in Kigoromia, but we have only got one seed school. Yet the government policy said each sub-county should have a seed secondary school. Some of our students wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and they have to trek over 10 kilometers to access the only seed secondary school in the area. We also have a big fishing community. Now the new fishing policies require fishermen to have up-to-date fishing gear, and most of them cannot afford. Now this is a very big problem because many of our youth have been rendered jobless. They cannot go fishing anymore. About 10 years ago, because...
Thank you. Honorable Wilcoma Sarah, Honorable Roberta Sarah, Honorable Rokoro Stevenson.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Bish, and for the purpose of record, I'm of course Stephen Son Yoyo, Member of Parliament, Chekwing East Constituency, Namabe District. I really rise to appreciate the President for the clear exposition of his speech during the State of Nation address. I would like to thank the President so much on emphasis on human capital development. Recently, we had UPDF recruitment, and actually, Bill district, we had a number of UPDF were recruited into the forces. I thank the President for that so much. However, in the area of human capital development, there is a serious outcry of teaching graduates recruitment, especially for secondary schools. Currently, in May, there was a debate where they advertised for secondary teachers at the national level. About 120 current jobs applied for the interviews. Only 10 were shortlisted for aptitude test, and 0 went to the next level. At the same point, the majority of the students, the graduates who are going for interviews, were calling in asking for money. That unless you get about 7 million shillings, it's very big recruited to become a secondary teacher. And that's an outcry from the teaching graduates from Karamoja. On a similar note, there is a school in the district called Murita Primary Secondary School, city school. That school is under construction but almost getting to completion. And last financial year, Education Commission recruited teachers, 20 teachers for the school. And currently, as we talk, the teachers are in the payroll, but the school is not functioning. We have about 4 teachers, a teacher, a deputy, and other 2 schools around the school. But the other teachers are nowhere to see. This is a matter of corruption. The school is not functioning, teachers are recruited. So I also want to pray to the Minister of Education here that the recruitment show the teaching graduates for Karamoja, if it's hard to access a job from the central government through the Education Solution, I would implore that maybe the decentralization policy of recruitment of secondary teachers be taken to local government such that teachers can be recruited from their districts, where they can now compete on advantage to get the jobs. I get to serve you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For the record, Richard Omorok is my name, Member of Parliament representing the people of Wusu County. I rise in support of the motion to thank and appreciate the President for his exposition on the State of the Nation address. The President took us through the roller coaster leadership journey that he has gone through right from the 60s. And he has told us how being a resilient leader, focused leader, a corruption-free leader has developed not only the Ankole sub-region, but also the country. Because he says from the ideas that he got through his education and interaction with the rest of some parts of the world, he was able to identify the need for the Ankole people to embrace the idea of fencing their land in order to keep the cows. But also, he gave us statistics nationally. The statistics that he gave us about infant mortality rates, how the economy has grown, is a good thing to note. Now, for the people of Wusu, there remain to be issues to tackle. One, Katakui is a disaster-prone area. We are affected by both floods and drought. As we speak now, floods affected us from mid last year. Now, at the beginning of this year, it has been drought, and therefore we are affected. Productivity levels have gone down. The people are therefore asking for the following: that there be dams built to control the floods, and through those dams, the people will be able to have water for irrigation. The other is that the road network in Katakui, especially Wusu County, be rehabilitated, because this road network links to the strategic security road that runs across from Makoro, Ngariam, Wusu, Kaprepion, Abim, and goes up to Buki. The roads like Okore, Security Road, Palam, Security Road is in Adachan, Okuya, Security Road, Okorito, Omoya, Kaisel, Security Road need to be improved.
Thank you. Honorable Godfrey, Narakutani.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm Wanyoto Godfrey, representing the Coast West. Honorable Speaker, I'm standing here to support the motion of the President's State of the Nation address. Right Honorable Speaker, we have enablers for development, and one of it is electricity. Right Honorable Speaker, this morning we had a lengthy discussion on electricity. But mine is a little bit unique. I have a line in my constituency running from Ogusege Training Center through Narusara Sub-County and the Lulena Sub-County to Sloko District, which has wires on, it has transformers on, but not connected. You wonder whether the minister in charge of government stores, the transformers are there, but the powers are not connected. How I wish these are connected such that, as you are aware, we grow a lot of coffee. Instead of using these manual powering machines, we can go electric. Chair, a healthy mind is a mind which develops. We have a center health center in my constituency, where the doctor in charge, second in charge, and in charge
are earning salary of a diploma holder. These were diploma holders that are upgraded. Here when you upgrade, you expect salary enhancement. How I wish when you see a backup bencher like us and you are promoted, and you are earning the salary of an ordinary MP. So we cannot push such people who are now qualified doctors, but they are earning the salary. The same kind of things, Mr. Speaker, the worst, according to worst. They have a scan for expectant mother, but they don't have a technician who works on that scan. Now, people get tempted to correct something small in the guidance of this kind of giving the person who is handling the scan. My prayer, therefore, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, is that let that line be connected to the grid. And two, we keep on crying when we talk of why can't doctors be paid the substantial amount of another doctor. Say, wage bill. Here in out, wage bill. For the last 5 years,
thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For recording, I'm Laura Dukahani, to one member of Parliament, Chiwara District, but a civil engineer. I would like to thank the President for the State of the Nation Address and all people who have served this government of Uganda up to date. Me and my junior who have come to serve right now. Me thanking you all who have managed to serve, I have a concern. Me coming from Chivani, I've been wanting to ask this question that I'm bringing on, that why does government do its best but performs less? Like for my district, you may find maybe it is the worst district in Uganda in service delivery. But to me, my question comes here. We had a chance that Parliament started from Greater Chivale. This weekend, the entire Parliament was in Kivale, Greater Kivale, hosted by Prime Minister. But we had all leaders of the 3 districts where they were saying, why are they not performing? Why are the roads worked on? Agriculture money, school funds. They were saying that money that is budgeted for comes late to the account. Even in the process of getting the money from the account to put it to use, it is also, the process is long. I was like, now what do we need to do as members of Parliament to ensure that the works are done? Because me, I squeezed my district people, my senior extension workers, they were telling me money was taken back to consolidated fund because it came late and they could not use it in time, and it was taken back. I was like, now you have the look. When it comes to school fund, we were supposed to have 2 seed schools. The money came due to corruption and no land wrangles and the land titles. We are waiting for land schematic demarcation to allocate us land titles to be able to have seed schools. We were not able to have. And the money was taken back to consolidated fund. And for us, we are there crying when we will ever be served by this government the way we are entitled to be served. When the money comes late and the titles are supposed to still come from the government, and we'll be able to have those secondary schools in our place. For the case of these leaders, when we interacted with them when the Parliament came last weekend, they said we need to request the government when we budget and we pass them.
Thank you. Honorable Terry Bernard.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Terry Bernard Mukoya. I'm a member of Parliament representing the people of Lamu County, Kalida District. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the President for the State of the Nation address, basically on health care. Madam Speaker, I rise on behalf of the people of Bulawayo County and the entire people of Kalilo District to call for the urgent establishment of the district referral hospital. Madam Speaker, the fact is that the absence of the district referral hospital in Kalilo has become a matter of life and death. Women Health Center 4, the highest health facility we have in Kalilo District, is overwhelmed by the growing number of people, patients, and it lacks the capacity to adequately handle emergencies and specialized cases. Madam Speaker, I recall it very well. It was last month when this Parliament paid tribute to the late Honorable Moses Almi, he so rest in peace. Kalilo District lost the Vice Chairperson of the Council Fight. And on a sad note, he is not the only one, but many of our people continue to lose their lives because they cannot access timely and specialized medical care. Patients are referred to Uganda, Mbali, Jinja, Parisa, and yet these facilities are too far from Kalilo. Madam Speaker, the way they are going from Kalilo to Parisa is in a very bad state. The road is narrow, full of potholes, of which it can cause a very dangerous delay during a medical emergency. Madam Speaker, I am aware that the engineering design for the upgrading of Kalilo Parisa Road has already been completed and submitted into the Ministry of Works and Transport. Therefore, I appeal to the government to provide the funds so that the construction can commence without any further. Madam Speaker, as I conclude,
thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I join colleagues to submit on the State of the Nation address. Mr. Speaker, the President centered this communication on economic transformation, citing infrastructure development, wealth creation, oil optimism, and industrialization. Mr. Speaker, I agree with the majority content of the President's speech because of its positive economic outlook, on one hand. While on the other hand, Mr. Speaker, I find them insufficient to deliver the much anticipated economic transformation. I am pleased with the aspect of macroeconomic stability, Mr. Speaker, where we are being promised low and stable inflation, relatively strong GDP, which of late has also been validated by the International Monetary Fund. Mr. Speaker, there we are guaranteed of stable household purchasing power. We are being guaranteed of a market that attracts both domestic and foreign investors. Mr. Speaker, I am also pleased with the aspect of wealth creation through PDM and industrialization, where we are promised increased income at the household level, reduction of poverty in the future through PDM, and improved trade competitiveness through value addition and some job opportunities within the manufacturing sector. However, Mr. Speaker, I find that insufficient in context due to inadequate input on critical aspects of the economy that determine growth. One, Mr. Speaker, lack of focus on youth unemployment. While the President's speech emphasized one question, limited attention relatively was put on youth unemployment and underemployment. Uganda being a country with the youngest population in the region, Mr. Speaker, I expected the statement to have captured concrete proposals on youth unemployment, creating labor-intensive industries, and expansion of jobs in the private sector, Mr. Speaker. So my argument here, Mr. Speaker, number two, on public debt. Mr. Speaker, Uganda is one of the countries ever increasing debt stock. Relatively, little attention matters, especially the president emphasized growth opportunity. Limited attention was put on public debt sustainability, future debt servicing obligation, and fiscal trade-offs associated with the huge infrastructure spending. My argument here is that, Mr. Speaker, for a carefully planned economy, huge or sustained infrastructure spending should be balanced with a very careful debt management plan. That was lacking in the speech. Mr. Speaker, number 3, on private sector. The President encouraged private sector investment without providing incentives for private sector development. Mr. Speaker, there are structural constraints affecting the sector, such as lack of electricity in parts of the country, increased cost of borrowing, lack of access.
Mr. Fred, I'm a new graduate.
Right Honorable Speaker, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, Yalames of Red is my name. I rise to appreciate the President on the State of the Nation address. Right Honorable Speaker, the President categorically made it clear the money economy aspect, infrastructure being a panacea of development, tourism being a flagship for Uganda's economic transformation and agriculture development. Right Honorable Speaker, in regards to the people of Ajuri County, the people of Ajuri are saying the President's State of the Nation address falls short of their expectation. In the lines of agriculture, we are seeing the people of Ajuri are being exploited twice when it comes to farming. Farmers are paying high in terms of inputs. A case in point is sunflower seed, Right Honorable Speaker. They are buying at 75,000 per kilogram, and at harvest they are selling at 1,000 shillings per kilogram. Right Honorable Speaker, the people of Ajuri are calling this legalized poverty. Right Honorable Speaker, on the issue of power, we have 3 sub-counties that do not have access to electricity. It is no longer a luxury, but it is a springboard on which development can be entrenched. We are therefore calling upon the government to ensure that electricity reaches the 3 sub-counties, Adoyo, Anota, and Abode sub-county. Right Honorable Speaker, on the issue of tourism, the people of Nigeria say Akibwe was the first Ugandan to win an Olympic medal. Right Honorable Speaker, we are saying we need Akibwe marathon. Resume marathon has come and we appreciate it. Why we need Akibwe marathon? Be the first Ugandan to win Olympic. We need Akibwe Olympic marathon. Right Honorable Speaker, this is going to push for Ugandans, especially in Nigeria, to move to the money economy. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, in reference to Africa, the people of the Jew together with Lama Abuja are unanimously demanding that the access roads to Akibwe Stadium, a flagship infrastructure, an infrastructure is called
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And this is my maiden speech. Yes, I've spoken before, but this is my maiden speech. On other matters, but on solar, this is my maiden. My name is Amadio Sheila Dragile, Woman of Parliament from Okono District. WOPA Treasurer, Shadow Minister, ICT and Anti-Corruption. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand firmly to associate myself with the uncompromising response delivered by our leader of opposition. And this is because listening to the State of Nation address, it felt like a country different from the one we live in, specifically for my people of Okono District. Right Honorable Speaker, Okono District serves as one of Uganda's primary industrial engines. However, it has an issue of the youth being paid basic money, 5,000 shillings a day. And these are in the industrial areas of Nama, Mbalala, Namamfe, those industrial parks. Youth are complaining of this pay. So I'm requesting, Right Honourable Speaker, that we maybe look into the issue of the minimum wage bill to be able to address this issue of the youth. Right Honourable Speaker, another issue that I felt was not addressed in the State of Nation address was the issue of the health facility crisis in my district, and this is a district that hosts the Speaker of Parliament. Right Honourable Speaker, we call for an expansion for this facility, and we pray that it can be upgraded to a regional referral hospital. This hospital, so far now, handles over 500 outpatients, and it's operating on a budget of around 722 million. Right Honourable Speaker, we pray that it can be funded to be able to cope with the population, the rising population in Kwano district, and can also be able to handle our fellow leaders that, traversing from district to district. We lost a member from Kayuga because they couldn't come to our hospital. They rushed him to Nakasero, and eventually we lost him. Right Honourable Speaker, the other issue is the severe public education infrastructure and sanitation crisis in Kwano district. There is a gap of 374 classrooms and a deficit of 930 teacher accommodation quotas. Right Honourable Speaker, there is also a crisis of sanitation shortfall of 937 toilets and latrines for learners. Right Honourable Speaker.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity, and honourable colleagues, this is my maiden speech. Thank you. Right Honourable Speaker, I rise to support the motion on basically three grounds. There's love call the President made to us. Two, on the economic transformation agenda that he outlined for the executive to pick up. And then third, the detailed legislative agenda that he handed over to us as Parliament. With respect to the call, Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues, His Excellency the President, just like John the Baptist did in the Bible, sounded a call to all of us not to sleep, to increase our productivity and increase production, to enable Uganda live from the level of lower income economic status to the higher middle income class. And that is for all of us. And then we call upon us leaders to ensure that there is no corruption. And I'm glad a few hours ago, our honourable minister was here talking about fighting corruption. And that is the line we should all draw. We call upon even the technocrats to ensure that we deliver what can help us boost our productivity and increase our production. On the economic transformation agenda, he made a bid to the NRM election manifesto 2026-2031. And in that, he outlined the key priority sectors that once targeted, focused on, we can then achieve the desired targets he set for us. That is the 6.4% GDP growth in the short term, and then the 10% GDP growth, at least over the medium term. And all those require that we focus on those critical factors of production needed to enhance production. People from Bukit East regions and the West Fundamental constituency in particular are crying out for one thing: electricity. On Sunday I was in my constituency and I went to Nagongara sub-county.
where the substation, the power substation, is located just at the center of the constituency. But lo and behold, the sub-county headquarters just about 30 meters away is without electricity. The police post, which is about 20 meters away, is without electricity. The rural center of Nagomes, which is just about 20 meters away, is without electricity.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Achora Catherine, Honorable Kahima Moses.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Achora Catherine is my name, I rise to support the motion of the President of the State of the Nation address. I particularly want to speak about Palisa Hospital. We all know that a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. Palisa Hospital was built in 1966 to support a population of 65,000. Today it supports a population of 334,000, let alone other neighboring 6 districts of Kaliro, Kibuku, Budaka, Butebu, Mora, and Butareja. I therefore request that this hospital, because of its strategic location and the good road network, the connectivity, be upgraded to a regional referral hospital to serve all those other districts. The other matter is about the bridge called Otut Bridge in one of the sub-counties, Kaukura sub-county. This bridge collapsed in 2016. And appeals have been made to the Ministry of Works and Transport for all this while. The state minister then came in 2024, plus a team from World Bank, and promised the community that they would build us a steel bridge. The community was excited, and we are still waiting for the steel bridge. It has not come up to date. And that bridge connects Palisa to Mora, through Aleles, Palisa to Kariro, through Bogonyo. So I really request the Minister of Works and Transport to expedite the reconstruction of this bridge and let the people of Palisa know whether or not that bridge will be worked on. The other is about the biggest government school we have, Palisa SS. It has a population of 2,994 students, but only 47 teachers on payroll. And let alone that, the understaffing, we have a problem with the classrooms. We have a